everyone. Welcome back to The Practiced Life. Today's episode is called The Beautiful No, which also happens to be the title of my memoir, The Beautiful No and Other Tales of Trial, Transcendence, and Transformation, which was published in 2019. Gosh, feels like forever ago. And The Beautiful No is the title story of that memoir. And I'm going to tell you that story in just a little bit. It truly is some of the best guidance ever. And one of the greatest gems of my own life experience. So, The Beautiful No is the story of, and I'm going to cut right to the chase. I'm much more eloquent in the writing of it, but in the telling of it, let me just say that I was at a low point, 35 years old. I had been freelancing as an ad agency producer, and I wasn't very good at selling myself for work. So if people were like, well, we don't really have anything, I'd be like, okay, and I'd hang up. So I found scratching around for work to be very, very difficult. It wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. So I was out of cash. I wasn't going to be able to pay my rent. I was 35. I really didn't like the accounts I was producing for that all that much. And I felt like, gosh, I guess I felt like a huge failure is what it was. I just felt like, gosh, darn it, am I ever going to figure this out? What I'm supposed to be doing. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing important work. I don't want to settle for something less. And while I had gotten a break in developing and being trained in the skills of producing, now I was in a rut again because I didn't really love what I was producing. So a few years before, that's my best recollection. I was living in Chicago and I had looked across the river and I had seen, oh, there's some show that's getting a lot of buzz in the country. And of course, that was the Oprah Winfrey Show. It was getting a lot of attention. And I really wasn't a viewer because I worked during the day and I don't think I knew how to work a VCR, to be perfectly honest. But there was enough press about it that I was like, oh, that's interesting. That might be fun. That feels like that could be me. And I applied for a promo producer job. That isn't a show producer. It's the people who produce the commercials for the shows. And so I applied for that job and I got a very polite rejection. I mean, I was not what they were looking for. And the woman who rejected me told me so. And I wasn't all that surprised because at the time, ads were produced on film. It took 3 months to do a 30-second spot. And what you're talking about on TV, a daily television show, you're turning 30-second spots around overnight. So I knew that what I was doing didn't totally line up with that, but it definitely felt like I could feel a calling to it. Like, gosh, that feels like that should be me. Well, it wasn't, and they politely told me so. So I had gone on, and now I was freelancing, and boy, I had really hit another bump in the road. And a friend got me an interview at the one of the top agencies in Chicago because I thought, well, maybe I just need a better job at a better agency with better accounts. Maybe that is the answer. That will be the solution. So I had the interview, and I mean, a lot was riding on it because I was super broke and I was kind of depressed. And I was like, I really need to land this job. So it was a senior job and on good accounts. So I went in and met with the guy. His name was Ed, and he was kind of a dapper man in his 60s and nicely dressed. And so he looked at my reel of commercials and my resume, and we talked for a little bit. And basically, he said, "You're exactly what I'm looking for." Uh, um, and basically hired me in the room. I'm going to put you on great accounts. accounts. Your benefits are going to be great. I'm going to pay you a lot of money. Um, and I was just, my head was spinning. I was so happy. And he said, listen, go on home. I'll call you next week. So I met my friends later that early evening at the local watering hole, and we literally wept and celebrated at my good fortune because finally I had figured it out. I was getting this big job and I loved producing. It was going to be better accounts. It was going to be great. So we cried a little because it was a bit of a thing. Like, gosh, I have been literally like a job nomad for 14 years since I graduated. I was really thinking I could make something of myself. And I just couldn't get the motor started. And so it looked like this was going to come through. And of course, he didn't call me the following week. And not only didn't he call me, but by the end of the week, I got a form letter from the HR department saying, sorry, we're not hiring at this time. So I was about as low as I'd ever been. As low as I'm telling you, I was low. I was like potato chip eating, soap opera watching, couch pajamas, hair in my ponytail, unwashed, for days, just for days. And I remember thinking, I give up. I give up. I give up. And so I probably, I don't know, threw on a coat and went to McDonald's or something. There was a new McDonald's down the street from me in Old Town in Chicago on Burton Place. Burton Place and what was the other street? North Avenue. Yeah. And so I got home and there on my answering machine, which is what we had at the time, that had actual tape in it, the answering machine was blinking. And I listened to the message and it said, this is so and so at the Oprah Winfrey Show. We were cleaning out a closet and found your reel and resume. Would you come in for an interview? I mean, I don't even know how to explain that. And so I did. And a wonderful new woman, in charge of the creative services department, Harriet, brought me on to freelance produce and then eventually offered me a staff job. And that was the beginning. That was the beginning of a 20-year ride that changed everything in my life. Gave me a spiritual life, showed me the world in a new way, allowed me to experience what it felt like to have work that was a mission, not just a paycheck. It changed everything for me. And it was a couple years in. I mean, I was so appreciative. There's not a day for years that I walked in that place that I wasn't dazzled because I had had so many other experiences. So I did not take it for granted for a long time. And it was a couple years in when I realized, oh my gosh, that Ed guy who didn't hire me at the big fancy agency, that was the most beautiful no I've ever gotten. That was, oh my God, that is the most beautiful rejection I've ever gotten. If I had gotten that big fancy job with the salary and the perks and the security, do you think I would have left that job a short time later to go take a chance at the Oprah show? No way. No way. I mean, my safety stuff was too rattled. My safety stuff was too rattled. So that was one of my most beautiful no's. And what came from that is I began to see that all no's are guidance. There isn't a no that isn't for you. Every rejection, every leaving, every brutal no, every sudden rejection, every rejection is for you. It's your guides. It's the universe saying, come this way, come this way, come, you're done here, come this way. And that has helped me. And now, since I've shared it with thousands and thousands of people, flip the script on rejection because if you understand that nope, nope, nope is the universe really saying, I love you, go this way. I love you, right this way. I love you, right this way. I love you, right this way. I love you, head over this way. I love you, go this way. Now, if that lands for you at all, flip the script on your own stories about rejection and heartbreak, the no's you've gotten, the disappointments you've had, the times you felt abandoned and rejected. And identify your own beautiful no's and look to see, can you see how you were being directed to a different path? That really it was the universe saying, I love you right this way. I love you right this way. And begin to, if that lands for you, practice proactively. So the minute something happens that isn't what you would have chosen, the minute something happens where you're like, ugh, that's a disappointment, or you think something's going to go your way and you think your way is the way and it doesn't, proactively practice getting right into the habit of saying, thank you for the guidance. Thank you for the guidance. Thank you for the guidance. Being available for that guidance from the universe. Being available, being open to it. Understanding that what is happening is for you. It's a powerful, powerful change of perspective and position. And it changes everything. It allows you to become a magnet for the good stuff when you understand, because you don't lose months and months of time drowning in sadness and sorrow over something that really was just guidance. It was help. It was support. It was love. You're being loved to your next great thing. And listen, I'm just as stubborn as anybody. I'd be like, no, I thought it was that. I thought it was them. I thought it was him. I thought it was that. No, no, no. I'm just as stubborn as anybody. But now I don't want to lose 3 to 6 months. I grab myself by the collar and say, thank you for the guidance. Thank you for the guidance. Thank you for freeing me. Thank you for delivering me. Thank you for pointing me in the direction of a new path and a new way. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the guidance. I feel so loved, universe. Thank you for the guidance. Thank you for joining me for the Practice Life. Give this a whirl. Find your beautiful no's. Go on a big, beautiful no hunt in your own life experience and turn those stories around now. It's going to change how you feel today. It's going to change how you feel today. And if you're looking to join me in living the practice life, these are the practices that I'm dropping into my life all the time and talking about with anybody I can. Go to sherrysalata.com/free network, and you can begin a 7-day practice challenge that could completely transform your mornings. And when you set the foundation at the beginning of the day, wait till you see what's possible. Wait till you see what's possible. It takes just a minute. You put in your information, you sign up. You'll be in the free front porch of my network, where there's other free stuff too. But this 7-day challenge, which I call Morning Magic, it's really quite spectacular. I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.